war, but also it has a very, very symbolic meaning, not only for the Civil War, but also for the period after this Civil War. As a matter of fact, Franco tries to put this monument as a symbol of the resistance symbol of resistance against the moral people that were ruled Spain during the Second Republic. So it's amazing how this conception of history can influence in this country. So El Alcázar, Franco after the war, keep El Alcázar as this symbol. He also wanted to maintain the ruins as example of what these people made to the people of Toledo. So El Alcázar represents not only a local image of this war, but also a national symbol. So it became as a national symbol. When the Spanish War, Civil War broke out in 1936, the Republican militia controlled Toledo, also controlled Madrid, but not controlled the Alcázar, this monument. This monument were controlled by Colonel Moscardó, the ranking officer at this time. So Colonel Moscardó tried to protect this place until help will come. So that the history starts there. As a matter of fact, the uprising, the Spanish uprising, was in 1936 in July 18. And after that, Alcázar was loyal to the uprising. Colonel Moscardó had to wait for help. This help didn't happen until 3 months later, more than 2 months. During that time period, we have some aspects of the siege that is being idealized, historically rewriting by the official historians. So it's very interesting to see how history can be right or rewrite depending on the time people is telling that. So it's very interesting that specific thing. The office of Colonel Moscardó represents that symbolic meaning. Franco wanted to keep to the rest of the people of Spain what happened during that siege in this specific monument. Also, the siege of El Alcázar brings General Franco the opportunity of take propaganda for his own political career. So during the time of the siege, the things that Franco planned to liberate this place also marked the rest of the war, of the Civil War. As a matter of fact, when Franco came with his army coming from the north of Africa, he had the chance of marching to Madrid to liberate Madrid, meaning that probably the Civil War will end at that precious moment, or marching to liberate the Alcázar. So both options are fundamental to understand the thinking of General Franco. Marching to liberate El Alcázar meant that the Civil War lasted 4 years, 4 more years. As a matter of fact, when Franco liberated this place, then marched to Madrid, but in Madrid was already organized. International militias were there, and a lot of circumstances made Madrid less vulnerable. So I think that that's a turning point, and very important turning point in the history of the Spanish Civil War. So that decision marked the war also brings to General Franco the possibility of concentrate power. Since the liberation of the Alcázar, this general is going to be named Generalissimo, is the master of the army, and also some circumstances are going to allow him to proclaim it in the unique power as the death of Primo de Rivera in Valencia. He was in jail. Also, historian has discussed why he didn't liberate or other generals Primo de Rivera, so it has to be with this fight of power among the opposing people, and also the circumstances of the death of another general that was also very important, General Mola. So what we've seen in the office represents not only the battle itself, but also the symbolic creation of a myth. That's the reason why the Alcázar is considered a myth, a Francoist myth. One of the circumstances that Franco saw in that time period was the reproduction of the so-called Gesta de Guzmán el Bueno. Guzmán el Bueno lost his son defending a fortress in the south of Spain in the Middle Ages, in time of the Reconquista. In this case, General Moscardó, the son of General Moscardó, Luis, he was arrested by the Republicans, and he asked him to surrender the Alcázar or he will shoot his son. And he answered, no, el Alcázar no se rinde. I'm not going to leave the Alcázar because of my son, so you can kill my son. After on, we will see that this history is also rewritten, because the facts are not as sure as we should consider. But it represents again a general propaganda giving the new regime authority to arrogate in this country. So I have the conversation here. Is 10 years ago you can listen to this conversation in the office of Moscardó, but now the office, the meaning of this office, this place, have changed because of the memory, the historical memory law and so on. This office is not represents anything. I mean, all the symbols are, all the Francoist symbols are removed, and as you've seen, it's very complicated to locate the office in the overall museum, so it's like a maze. It's impossible to see it, but everybody wants to know it, so it's kind of funny. But the conversation, more or less, on July 23rd, Candido Cabello, a local lawyer who sided with the Republicans, called Colonel Moscardó and said, I give you 10 minutes to surrender the Alcázar. If you don't, I will shoot your son Luis, who is standing here beside me. That sentence is very important in this paraphernalia that I was talking about. And his answer was, el Alcázar no se rinde, so that the Alcázar does not surrender. So that sentence marks this history, this parallel history of the siege of el Alcázar. And this is being repeated since then until 10 years ago. So it's very amazing to see how that history is the one that was on until probably 2000, when we started to question the historical memory.